Hello and welcome everybody, my name is Ragnar and today we'll go through the low level runeword options in Diablo 2. With Diablo 2 Resurrected coming up, a lot of people will jump back in the game, a ton of who haven't played the game in forever. Since everybody will start at zero again, I want to go through a couple of low level runewords that might give you an easier time getting back into the game. Now, the game doesn't have a definition of what is considered low level, but for me, I would say it's everything that can be accessed until level 30. At this level, your character gets access to the last skills, and the runes which fit that level, you can easily find in normal. I'm also going to split this into two parts, with the first one being rune words that are useful on multiple characters, and the second one being more character-specific rune words. Also, keep in mind that some of the screenshots shown off here have higher level requirements, which is mostly due to the item that the rune word is used on. I will mention all actual level requirements when talking about them. Now, with that being said, let's start right off the bat with rune words that generally fit several characters. Nadir, one of two rune words with the lowest level requirement of 13, needs an F and a tier rune socketed into a helmet. People like to hate on this one, but I really like to use it early. It has some enhanced defense on it, as well as defense versus missiles, 5 strength, and 2 mana after each kill. The Cloak of Shadow charges give you more safety, so overall, not too shabby. A lot of people prefer using 2 socket helmets with either rubies for extra life, or 2 tier runes to get 4 mana after each kill. In the end, it's personal preference, but I do like to think that Nadir is better than a lot of people make it out to be. Steel, another rune word that only requires level 13 and a tier and an L rune. Can fit into swords, axes and maces. It's not really anything special, but it does give some ED, min and max damage, as well as 25% increased attack speed. The 50% chance to open wounds is a nice bonus. There are probably better options out there, but I still like it quite a bit. Malice is one of those rune words that I'm never really sure what to think of. Requiring an Ith, L and F rune and a level of 50, you can get it rather early too. You can use every possible weapon, so both your character and your mercenary may profit from it. It comes with open wounds and prevents monster heals, as well as some ED, which is pretty good. The big disadvantage here though is the drain life. This causes you to lose roughly 1 HP every 2 seconds, so would only ever use it if you have an Act 2 mercenary with a prayer aura to counteract that. I know the drain doesn't sound like much, but it gets annoying very quickly, especially in early game. Stealth is the earliest armor rune word that you can get, and it's probably one of my favorite. It requires a Tal and an F, as well as a level of 17. Even though it looks like a caster armor due to the 25 FCR, I really like to use this on every character. It has 25% hit recovery, as well as 25% faster run walk, and especially that is a huge quality of life update this early into the game. It also comes with some dexterity, mana regeneration, poison res, and magic damage reduction. Ancient's Pledge is the OG of all rune words. Needs to be socketed into a shield, a character level of 21, and the runes Ral, Ort, and Tal. Those runes are rewarded for completing the second quest in Act 5, so you literally get them for free. It gives you great all resistances with very little requirements. You can even socket them into paladin shields that already come with all res to boost your resistance up even more. Overall, great for all classes that use shields. Spirit is probably one of the best known early game rune words, which you can socket either into swords or shields. Needs a Tal, Thule, Ord, and Am, as well as a level of 25. Definitely the number one choice for casters. It gives +2 to all skills, as well as up to 35% faster cast rate and 55% hit recovery. Also gives 22 to vitality, tons of mana, and even some magic absorb. And if it wasn't broken enough already, the shield version also gives 35 cold, lightning, and poison resistance due to the runes being used. I do want to mention that the earliest non-paladin shield that can have 4 sockets in is the Monarch, which has a level requirement of 54 and high strength requirements of 156, which is usually the highest you have on a caster. This one is also a ladder runeword, so if you play vanilla Diablo 2, you cannot make it in single player without third-party tools like Pluggy or something else. Strength is probably one of the most underrated rune words for melee builds in my opinion. Only needs an M and a tier in any melee weapon and comes with a level 25 requirement. The big thing on this one is definitely the 25% crushing blow. Crushing Blow reduces a boss's HP by 12.5% and is just so good against boss battles. The other things like strength, vitality and so on, they are a nice bonus, but you definitely get this one for the crushing blow. Insight, similarly to Spirit, is probably one of the most well-known rune words, mainly for the meditation aura that it has. It needs either Polearms or Staves, has a level requirement of 27, and needs the runes Ral, Tear, Tel, and Soul. This one is mainly used on a mercenary to give casters a much faster mana regeneration. But even without the aura, it's a great rune word for its price. It has over 200 ED and plus 6 to critical strikes, so your merc hits for double damage much more often. Really, the only thing missing here is the increased attack speed, but it's already too strong for what it is to begin with. Probably the number one choice for casters on your mercenary until you get into endgame. Honor is another melee rune word that is available at level 27. It needs M, L, ETH, Tear and Soul. Can be socketed into pretty much every melee weapon. This one doesn't excel in anything particular, but at the same time it does have a little bit of everything. The +1 skill is nice, but usually not that important for melee builds. It does come with some min and max damage, as well as 160% ED. Also has Deadly Strike, Life Leech, and some strength on it. The big thing missing here once again is the increased attack speed, which is probably the reason it's not seeing more use. Lore is probably my personal favorite low-level helmet. It doesn't look like much at first sight, but for the price of Ort and Soul with a requirement of level 27, it's really nice. It gives you +1 to all skills, which is really good to have at this point of the game. It also gives plus 30% lightning res, which is probably the most important resistance in the entire game. As a bonus, you also get damage reduction, some energy, and mana after each kill. Overall, a great rune word for a helmet. Continue on with Rime, which is probably my favorite early game shield rune word for physical builds. It only needs Shell and F, and a level of 29. It is an excellent choice for melee characters since it has increased block chance as well as a faster block rate. It also has 25 to all resistances, and very important, cannot be frozen, which is pretty much essential to all melee builds out there. The 25 MF rounded up very well, just a fantastic choice overall. So that's it for the general selection. Now we're taking a close look at some rune words that are only used on a couple of very specific builds. Leaf, for the cheap price of Tear and Ral in a staff, gets you +3 to fire skills once you're level 19. The big thing is that those are not limited to the sorceress, but you can also use them on other builds like fire druids or early traps in builds, which allow you to do a ton of damage in early game. Definitely the best choice for all fire builds at that point. Sapphire is a niche rune for Boazons. It needs an Ort and an Eth rune and a level of 21. The ED on this one isn't anything special, but the 25 increased attack speed make you attack pretty fast for early game. Especially on bowies that use elemental arrows, this is pretty good to start off. The 25 faster run walk is a nice quality of life thing, especially combined with the 25 faster run walk from a stealth armor. Holy Thunder is something I actually didn't want to include at first because it needs a scepter with 4 sockets and those don't actually drop on normal. Since the requirements are pretty low though, I still put it in here. It does need level 23 and the runes F, Ral, Ort and Tel. Very niche again because it's pretty much only used on a paladin that runs early Holy Shock. The big thing here obviously is the +3 to Holy Shock and the 21 to 110 lightning damage. The 60 lightning resist is pretty nice too. Unfortunately, it is missing increased attack speed, so there are probably some better early options out there, especially considering you can't get it until Nightmare. Edge is another bow rune word that needs Tear, Tel, M, and a level of 25. This one is mostly known because of the reduced vendor prices, but it's actually not that bad. It has 35% increased attack speed and huge ED to demons and undead. Also comes with Life Leech, Prevent Monster Heal, and up to 10 to all attributes. The Thorn Aura sounds nice, but it only ever does anything in normal, and considering you are running ranged builds with it, you shouldn't ever get hit anyways. Also, worth mentioning that this is another ladder rune word. Peace is another Amazon rune word that needs a Shell, Thule, and M in an armor as well as a level of 29. The early +2 Amazon skills are nice if you're playing a Chavazon or a Frost Maiden. 20% faster hit recovery is a nice bonus, as well as the +2 critical strike, though you probably won't run physical builds with this one anyways. It also comes with 30% cold res. Unfortunately, there are no other resistances on it, which is the big disadvantage here. So that concludes our list for low level runewords. There are some more out there that I didn't mention, mainly because they don't really serve any use, or they are all outclassed by other runewords. One thing I like to mention before we end this video is you can get a lot of those runes very early in the game. Normal Countess drops everything up to Ral, so oftentimes you can make some of those runewords before you even reach the level. It's definitely worth to run Countess a couple of times to get some of the runes needed. Anyways, I hope you liked the list and it's going to help you getting back into the game again. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RagnarAlvarr. That's it for me. I hope you get some nice drops. Thanks for watching, take care, and goodbye everybody.